All right, Jimmy, I don't know where to start. So many to choose from, but maybe let's start with AOC. You know, her fighter video. Is she running for Congress or is she auditioning for Rambo?
Well, I know the name of the first guy she kissed was Gary. I don't think she knows what she's doing right now. I don't think the party as a whole, because what happened with the social media blitz is there was kind of this myth out there that Trump won because he was on social media. But the truth is he won because his policies were more popular, and he happened to be pretty good at gaming the zeitgeist on social media. Do you remember with the garbage man memes when he, put on the garbage man vest, or he worked at McDonald's? And he was like actually tapped into something that people found funny. What the Democrats are doing looked very contrived. When you see all of those people cursing at the same point in the same sentence, some of whom apologized after the fact, you realize they were what my son would describe, or kids to call a try hard. Like they're trying too hard to be cool. But when you watch Kamala, the only takeaway is that 2028 is her blood alcohol content. It's not a serious electoral prospect.
Kat, I love a good curse word. It's very therapeutic.
I do too.
But I'm thinking instead of like emulating Trump, maybe they should be emulating like Susie Essman from Curb Your Enthusiasm. Did you ever watch that show?
Yeah, for sure.
She created new curse words. It was very authentic.
Listen, I got no problem with the cursing. I curse, and when like the victimless word, right? And people sometimes will get mad at me when I swear, and they're like, that was a bad word, you disgusting, horrible mother, bad person. I'm like, of all the words, I think what you said was almost more mean than an F word, don't you think? And I do think it is a step in the right direction for them, though, if you think about the way they were acting when they lost the election, okay? Throwing a few F-bombs in there is how normal people talk, at least the people that I'm around. It sure beats, hello, I'm Kamala Harris, my pronouns are she, her, and I'm wearing a blue suit. I think a lot of it was, you don't talk like me. You don't sound like me. Like, do you remember how bad it got for a time? It was like, you can't eat rice, you're not Chinese. Like, I think that trying to be a little unfiltered is better than what they were doing because they set the bar in such a ridiculous place for themselves. I think so many people really were like, nobody talks like this.
Yeah.
Joey, Kamala was saying that people were crying when they were coming up to her. Even Joy Behar was like, what? Like, yeah, she was even incredulous about that.
Listen, I've arrived to the conclusion that Kamala Harris goes to sleep at night and dreams whatever happens the next day and wakes up and she just believes that's the way. So I'm about to go duck hunting. Ducks wake up in a different world every day because they migrate, right? She wakes up in a different world every day. Like whatever reality she wants to be in today is the one she's going to go talk about. Rather it's, listening to rappers that were, I think, not even famous yet or dead by the time she was into college or whatever it was with that on the Breakfast Club. She just goes on there and much like what Kat was talking about, she thinks, who am I supposed to be right now? Not who am I? It may be that the best version of Kamala Harris as a candidate is the one that sat up there and was like very a bulldog and attacking on the Judiciary Committee when she was a senator, and she hasn't been that since. I mean, that's when she was probably most popular. But somebody's told her in some focus group or that, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that. And what it is, it comes across inauthentic. Trump doesn't do things that become viral. They become viral because Trump did them and because Trump's authentic. It's hilarious to see a man I've never seen not wear a business suit or a polo in a McDonald's drive-thru. It makes no sense at all.
You haven't even talked about the dance, right? That dance.
Oh, the YMCA?
Yeah, I mean...
Trump is the first man in history to invent a dance for a song that already had one. You did the YMCA for 50 years, and he's like, nope, the hands. Isn't that crazy?
It's so funny. Leslie, Kamala's campaign lasted 107 days. The book tour is going a lot longer. It's like a victory tour that really isn't.
I don't think it's a victory tour, and the 107 days was not her fault. Obviously, she was thrown in at that point. That's the amount of time that she had. But no, I mean, honestly, I've always said, I wasn't the biggest fan. I don't think she certainly was the best candidate. But you give even the president said she wasn't given enough time. But what she's doing now, I don't think that's necessarily helping her. If you talk about focus groups say she would have won the gubernatorial election in California, and she's like, nope, not going for that. So she's not listening to the focus groups. If we're talking about swearing, I'm going to sound like a hypocrite for a minute because if my kids are watching, they're going to go, oh, come on, Mom. I'm I'm half Sicilian. I also swear like a truck driver. But when the president swears or when elected officials swear, it makes it harder when you have a 17 and 18-year-old at home like I do, and you tell them not to swear. Not to swear. Makes it harder for mom not to swear. When you talk about cringeworthy videos, Republicans have some as well. One, kicking and beating up Santa Claus, or what was that about? Yeah. Two, sorry, Pete Hegseth, but he couldn't. My husband was like, really? He couldn't do pull-ups, and then like the next day on TikTok, this woman goes viral for just like smoking, him and all the men out there, with the pull-ups.
You can't call out Pete's pull-ups if you're the party of Mamdani's bench press. Have you ever seen that? That was horrible.
Yeah. We don't even need to go there. It's 2026. We're going in the good direction.
Okay.
Yeah, we are.
Yes,
Let's
we
get
are.
him.
All right.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.